Alright, so let's start off with Aboitiz Power, no, or AP. Na itong AP, as we discussed before, yung wider picture niya, it's been moving sideways, diba? Yung larger picture, sorry, not wider. Tapos yung where we are right now, kumbaga the tighter range that we're trading at, sideways din tayo. We're more or less trading within this area. Now, etong area na 32 pesos, we discussed before that it was a key area because kung we zoom in and you look at it, it has acted as resistance here, resistance here. It has acted as support here, and here, resistance here, resistance there. So, even though nava-violate siya from both directions, whenever we do get a breach, it tends to get respected somewhat, diba? Although walang guarantee na just because it gets respected and nag-hold tayo above it. It's still, given all that, it's still good to be aware na it's there para lang, kumbaga, present tayo, di ba? Now, given na we are caught within this tight range, yung tinitignan natin dito sa AP is still similar. If we can come back up and start trading above 33.5, I think it opens up this wider range here hanggang 37. Although, as always, we're aware na may cluster of lows dito na pwede nating pag-untugan. But yung pinaka-swing high talaga is nandito. In fact, nag-iwan tayo ng essentially triple top sa area na to. So, hindi nakakagulat na if we can start trading above 33.5, baka balikan natin yung high end ng range na to. On the flip side, may iniwan din tayong double bottom dito at 28.50. So, if we can start trading beneath 30 and start holding above it, baka yun yung maging next natural magnet ng price, balikan yung 30. Although, syempre, may resistance, support levels pa rin tayo at 29.65, followed by 29, bago natin marating yung 28.50 na yon. So, just something that we want to be aware of dito sa AP. Now, do I think na bullish tong AP moving forward given yung overall fundamental landscape? Maybe. Pero so far, based purely sa technicals, hindi pa siya nagbibigay ng magandang signal para pumasok eh. And I'm almost certain na based on fundamentals, hindi pa rin naman siya umaabot dun sa quote-unquote value area para bigla na lang mapilitan tayong lahat to just jump in. Okay, so just be aware of that if you're looking to trade AP. Next, tignan naman natin yung GTCAP, no? Now, tong GTCAP, kumbaga, again, in the overall picture, downtrend siya, di ba? Ito yung high, low, lower high, di ba? Lower low, and things like that. Yes, meron siyang sideways movement here, but overall, yung trend na pinupuntahan ng price is pababa, di ba? Yes, nagkaroon tayo ng structural break dito, around 500 pesos, but it was very short-lived. And in fact, nung binalikan natin siya, hindi man lang siya nag-hold. We just broke beneath 495 immediately and we're holding beneath it right now. Now, let me zoom in ng konti. Kung sabihin natin, ma-maintain na at makapag-hold tayo above 500, I still believe na yung tradable range from there will be up to etong 552. Whether or not masagad niya talaga, kumbaga from end to end yung range na yon, we'll never know, no? Hindi naman natin mapapangunahan kung ano yung gagawin ng market unfortunately. Now, kung kunwari naman, let's say we hold beneath 495, talagang hindi kinaya, then it opens up yung mga support na naiwan natin, which is at 470, followed by 453. And then if that breaks, then baka balikan natin etong demand zone na to where we initially reacted from. And as I said, yung una ko talagang inaabangan for GTCAP was I was hoping na mabalikan natin tong lower white zone na to. Obviously, nung unang attempt, di tayo umabot doon. Now, kung kunwari ba mabasag natin tong area na to, ba siguradong babalikan natin to? We don't know. Diba? We'll never know. But if we do, ang tanong, will it be tradable? That depends on kung ano yung itsura ng structure if we do get there. A lot of people kasi tend to think na basta, hindi, umabot na yung price sabi mo dati ganito, di dapat buy na kaagad. No. Kasi, the more candles that form, the more structure na nabubuo, the more data we get Diba? Mas dumadami yung bricks natin kung baga sa paggawa ng idea, sa paggawa ng quote-unquote bahay. So, habang dumadami yon, dumadagdag yung information, dapat tayo nag-a-adjust din. Ang lumang information doesn't necessarily mean na applicable pa rin siya like 2, 3, 4 weeks in the future. However, a lot of people take this to the extreme naman. Iniisip nila, ay kahapon pa na analysis yan, mali na. Of course not. By and large, the majority of the time, yung scenario planning natin, yung pagbasa natin sa chart, odds are it's gonna be good for a few days. Diba? Kasi nga, most of the time, nag-range lang naman talaga ang price eh. Okay? Yes, there will be exceptions to that rule, but don't overextend yourself too much na kailangan araw-araw, quote-unquote, bago yung analysis. Kasi, by and large, a lot of what you read today will be the same tomorrow and the next day and so on. Okay? So, give yourself a break, but, again, don't be complacent then to the point na after 3, 4, 5 weeks, umabot sa level mo. Ibig ba sabihin, kailangan i-trade mo kagad? Syempre hindi. Kasi baka may nagbago na between now and then. Next, tignan naman natin tong now, no? Now, you can look at this in one of two ways. Number one, again, in the overall picture, in the grand scheme of things, obvious na obvious naman siguro na downtrending pa rin tayo. Now, in the midterm or semi-long term, if you want me to really stretch it, we are moving sideways. Diba? We have been for quite some time. Yes, malaki yung range niya. Yes, it's a tradable range, but I sincerely doubt na it's a quote-unquote easy trade. Now, where we are right now is where we overshot nung initial na baba natin. Because I would argue na the real range is ito eh. From 1.15 hanggang mga 1.39 or hanggang 1.50 depending on how aggressive you want to be o how bullish you are dito sa now in general. So anything below that, I would say na you should trade it within its own range. So let's say na you wanted to trade this between 1.04 to 1.15 because yun yung range na kung saan tayo nandun ngayon eh. Even then, I would be very careful kasi just because price comes back and tags 1.04, creating essentially a new 52-week low, ibig bang sabihin dapat i-trade na tong now? I would argue na no, because it could always push lower. Kasi yes, while we are ranging in the interim, in the bigger picture, downtrend pa rin eh. So magugulat ba tayo kung mabasag siya to the downside? Balikan niya tong low na to? No. Diba? Now, kung kunwari, you want to trade that range, pwede, but just be aware kung saan nyo gusto mag-cut, saan nyo gusto mag-target, and so on. Kung worth it ba siya para sa inyo or hindi. Now, kung kunwari, sabihin natin price comes back up and starts holding above 1.15, does that mean that this wider range is once again in play? Yes and no. Yes in the sense na from a purely technical standpoint, oo. But I would be very wary trying to trade such a wide range given na yung last time it tried to push higher nauntog na siya sa 1.25. So kung sakali man na it starts trading above 1.15 again, I think the more practical approach is to trade this from a segmented point of view rather than to trying to trade the entire range that may or may not, come back into play. So, from 1.15, maybe trade it back to 1.25. If we can come back and start holding above 1.25, maybe you can play it back up dito sa next level of resistance at 1.39. And kung mabasag yung 1.39, ang next level of resistance natin will be at 1.5 na. A segmented approach would be a more conservative play that could lead to multiple trades along the way, but could also lead to quote-unquote E1. Na hindi ka makasakay because you're playing it conservatively. So, depending on how you want to view this, mag-alter yung approach nyo sa kanya. Kasi syempre, kanya-kanyang viewpoint pa rin yan eh. Now, for me, ito yung mga levels that I'll be watching out for. While we're trading beneath itong 1.15 na area, I am not seeing yet how I would be enticed to trade now in the near future. But let's see. Maybe something develops, maybe something forms that could encourage traders to come in dito sa now. But as of this moment, as of this recording, wala pa. Where price isn't particularly enticing based on current structure. Parang wala pa namang very bullish na nangyayari. So, wait and see pa. Patience mode muna. Now, itong MAC, we've discussed this before. Isa to sa mga situation na talagang nang iwan, no? It has hit all of the targets that I expected it to hit. Unfortunately, it did so in a very quick move. Now, based off of that move, sabi nga natin na usually kapag inefficient yung move pataas or pababa, it tends to get eaten up sooner rather than later. So kung sabihin natin price suddenly drops and eats up this move, I would be curious to see what might happen dito around this purple area. Makakakuha ba tayo ng bullish structure? Could a bounce play be available? I don't know yet. It remains to be seen. Now, kung kunwari naman, sabihin natin ayaw nyo na mag-pullback, meron kayong MAC, ano yung dapat yung tinitignan na bullish scenario? You want MAC to take out 5.4 sooner rather than later, because if it does, it opens up this area here from 5.4 to 5.9. Or let's say na right now, sana mag-hold tong mga 5 pesos to 5.07 na area. See if we can range here, magko-consolidate siya, and then perhaps use this as a base moving forward para mag-breakout, hold there, then see if we can push higher papuntang 5.9 or beyond. Okay? Pero again, kung kunwari, bigla tong lumagapak, kinain niya tong move na to, then you need to be careful. Just because there's a potential area here, merong mga areas of support, doesn't necessarily mean na kailangan sumalo tayo ng sumalo. Okay? It remains to be seen pa rin. Depende pa rin yan kung paano kayo nag-trade, kung ano yung mga setups nyo, kung ano yung hinahanap nyo. For me, again, the more bullish scenario would be a consolidation here sa high and then a push higher sooner rather than later. Or from here, tumuloy na tayo, mag-hold above 5.4 para matrade na natin tong wider range above. Okay? Kung sakali man na mangyari yung ayaw natin mangyari and it breaks beneath this purple zone, test from underneath, hold, then I think what happens is baka mabalikan natin tong support at 3.92 or kung hindi man all the way hanggang 3.92, we might revisit tong mga lows na iniwan natin before. And then finally, tignan natin yung URC, no? Now, itong URC, we are currently consolidating in this range. Okay? I consider this range to be sa mga 120 hanggang mga 128, more or less. Okay? I realize na yung mga nakikita nyo dito may point something, but more or less, para lang mas madali, mga between 120 to 128 yung current range natin. Itong 125 that acted as previous support before, di ba? Medyo nabababoy lang diba? Dinadaan-daanan lang siya. So, I'm not certain how strong of a level it can continue to be. But as you can see, similar sa tinitingnan natin kanina, usually nag-hold pa rin tayo sa area na yan kahit papano. Albeit, madali siya nababasag. So, from here, if you're bullish URC, what you want to see is for 128.7 to be taken out sooner rather than later. Kasi kapag na-take out yan, it opens up this range here hanggang 133.4, possibly even up to itong mga highs na naiwan dito. Now, kung kabaliktaran naman and we break towards the bottom end of this range, what I'm thinking is baka ma-undo tong inefficient move to the upside. At kung mangyari man yon, meron tayong mga scenario sa pwedeng tignan. One is baka mag-form tayo ng head and shoulders pattern dito. Diba? And from there, maybe we break to the downside and balikan natin tong mga supports na naiwan from before. Or, baka mag-range lang muna tayo sa area na to from 108 hanggang mga 120 and then we'll see what price does from there. Mag-hold lang ba tayo sa range na yon? Yun na nga ba yung pwede natin i-expect for the remainder of Q3? I don't know. It remains to be seen, no? Pero kung kunwari nga, nag-range tayo dito ng matagal, then I think baka ang mangyari nun is heading into Q4, we're not gonna be able to expect a lot kasi the market would by then look very undecided on what it is that it wants to do. Okay? For now, it's still consolidating in this area. The hope is it continues to push higher, lalo na sa mga bullish dito sa URC. Tapos again, kung nag-pullback tayo, let's see kung ano yung itsura ng structure niya then before we rediscuss URC because masyadong maraming potential scenarios na pwedeng mag-play out dito sa URC para i-discuss natin in 1 or 2 videos. So let's just simply wait until then, exercise some form of patience before we reassess if this is something that we could get into moving forward. So guys, dito po nagtatapos yung video natin, no? I hope nakatulong po to sa inyo kahit konti and may natutunan kayo kahit papano. And if so, I would really appreciate it if you give this video a like and consider subscribing to my channel. And as always guys, maraming salamat po sa panonood. I really appreciate it. Good luck and happy trading!